The Ant-Man teaser trailer was released yesterday during Agent Carter and all over the internet, and I've heard a lot of mixed things. Personally, I really like Ant-Man. I've actually been pumped for this movie for a while, and when Edgar Wright was doing it, who, if you don't know, Edgar Wright is a fantastic director who puts so much love and work into everything that he's ever done, he stepped off the project, which put a huge dip in it for me. Like, I really got a lot less pumped after that, but I'm still excited for it. I've heard a lot of people hating on Ant-Man, hating on the teaser, hating on the movie, and here is 5 reasons why you should be excited to see Ant-Man. First of all, because this is kind of one of the most obvious things, that the cast is awesome. Paul Rudd is fantastic in everything he does. He's so likable, and what's his face? Sorry, that's not his name. Evangeline Lilly, I'm not talking about him anymore, but I changed my mind. Evangeline Lilly is going to be really, really good. Michael Douglas rarely does anything bad. I mean, come on, Michael Pena. This is Haley Atwell. This is great. I mean, this is an amazing cast, really great effort put into it. I forget the one guy's name, but he was the guy from House of Cards. Fantastic. So, even if the script isn't that great, just the charisma of all these actors put together should be able to hold up the movie. Second of all, I did say Edgar Wright stepped off the project, and that was a huge thing for me, but they are still using his script. He wrote it, and obviously they had to change it a little because the reason he stepped off was creative differences, I'm assuming having to do with meshing it into the larger universe, but they're still using the basis, the plot, and I'm sure a lot of the lines, and even if they're not using that, the rest of it was written by Adam McKay, who you might recognize as the man who wrote and directed Anchorman. So he's a funny guy. Paul Rudd also helped write it, so it's gonna be funny. I mean, the script, please, unless having the multitude of writers kind of just got rid of the style, then I think it's gonna be a great script. Third, and this is actually kind of the reason that people hate on him, his power. And that is, for those of you who don't know, he can shrink, he can grow, and he can communicate with insects and kind of control them. In the trailer, you can see him like riding on an ant, which I actually thought was pretty cool. Like, it was kind of like a helicopter. Anyway, so much interesting stuff can be done with this power. I mean, the test footage, if you haven't seen it from a while ago, is really cool. He starts out normal size running down the hallway. He shrinks. He runs up the barrel of the guy's gun. He like punches him because he retains his strength. It's some really cool stuff. And you can do some unique stuff with that rather than just the typical kind of Captain America and Thor, which is hit something with a hammer or punch it, or Iron Man, just shoot it. And you can do something with visually interesting with the power, which I think is going to really help this movie. Fourth, and surprisingly, I didn't realize this until I kind of thought about it, is that there's going to be kind of a family angle. If you think about it, no Marvel movie has really looked at a character who has a family. And Scott Lang, who is Ant-Man, the Ant-Man they're using for this one, his main driving force is getting money to help his daughter, who has a like a heart disease. And he loves his daughter so much. They have a fantastic relationship. And kind of seeing this father-daughter angle is something that we haven't seen in a Marvel movie. And I think that'll just make it unique, if anything else, and pretty interesting to watch. Finally, and this is kind of a weird one. A lot of people might not agree with me on this one. It's probably going to be small scale. I mean, when you see these movies, Avengers is huge. Captain America 3 helicarriers crash. Even Guardians of the Galaxy, the entire planet is at stake. There always end up being huge stakes. And Ant-Man is going to be a small heist movie. It's just going to be a small little thing within the universe, people with powers, but it's not going to be a huge, the city is at stake. It's just going to be a fun movie with a guy that has superpowers. I think, like with my past two reasons, it's just going to be refreshing. It's going to be something new, which, although I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, Marvel movies can do something great, as you can see from Guardians of the Galaxy, which Ant-Man might be because people had no idea who the Guardians of the Galaxy were. They weren't expecting anything, and they got a great movie. But obviously they can introduce sci-fi elements. They can introduce stuff like the spy stuff in the Winter Soldier, but there is kind of a similarity. You can see similarity between all these. As I said, it always ends with this huge scale battle with the fate of a world or a city in their hands. There's kind of a similar main character, but this is something new, and that's why I believe in it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying 100% is going to be good. The trailer was a little iffy for me, and my big problem with it was the tone. I wasn't sure if it was going to be this dark epic or this comedy, but it was just a teaser trailer, and I'm willing to ignore that because I'm still excited for it. You should be excited for it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.